Alrighty guys, I appreciate everybody taking time to check out my latest offering here on Bring a Trailer. We have a low mileage 2014 Cayenne Diesel. So the car, let's see. So I had one person ask me, do I script out these videos? And the answer is no. I kind of walk around it, I talk about it, point things out, things pop in my head and I mention them. So there is no script. I just kind of wing it, and I feel like that makes for a more genuine description of the car because it's not planned. Anyway, so we do have some cosmetics I'm going to point out. I mean, a Cayenne Diesel, people bought these to drive them. You know, they didn't sit in a garage, and it's not like people bought them and they thought they were going to appreciate in value. So they were driven, and most of them, whether the cosmetics are pointed out or not, have some cosmetics. It's just kind of like the way, you know, kind of like just what happens with driving a vehicle. So I bought this for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, it's diesel. That's cool. Reason number 2, 66,000 miles. Most of these I see have 166,000 miles. You know, they were diesel. People drive diesels for the gas mileage, so as a result, they get mileage on them. It kind of, you know, makes sense. And lastly, a lot of these I see, the few that I've sold, I think I sold 2 or 3 on here and Cars and Bids. They just, for whatever reason, they just didn't have a lot of options. I don't know why, but this one has, you know, it has the Bose, it has the vented seats, it has lane change assist, so, you know, it just has some extra options and the nicer wheels. So yeah, and it's really cool, really clean. We got some recent maintenance noted on the Carfax, so yeah, here we go. So we got the lights going. We're gonna do a light check. So let me turn on the fog lights. So the wheels, they're actually all in really good shape. We have Michelin rubber. Tires are in great condition. I have the tread depths and the DOTs in the photo gallery. So driver's front fender, something, we do have a scuffo here right above the blinker, and there's this very, I mean, I don't even know if I can capture this. You can kind of see the shadow right here. There's a slight indentation right here. So something, you know, scraped. You can see the scrapes here. So something hit the, you know, maybe they were backing out of the garage. You know, who knows? But it's there. I didn't even notice it at first. So this would kind of be the type of thing that if I didn't point it out, you might not ever notice it, but that's not how I do things. So I am pointing it out. Left front fender. There's a dent here, and you can feel the dent here, but you can't really see it. So left front, something happened at some point. We get all our lights going, fog lights, turn signals. Man, the gnats are already out. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna be one of those days in the south. That is obviously AC condensation. The car's been running for the last probably 30 minutes. I did my pictures. So then right rear, there's a dingo right here. Probably a door ding. Some idiot probably opened her car into it in the parking lot. And oh, it does have you know, it's pretty standard these days, but it does have the backup camera, which is nice. Just like, you know, like I mentioned, a lot of these cars didn't really have a lot of options. I've seen, you know, I look at the build on every one I buy, and I don't know, it's kind of strange. I don't know why a lot of them were just lightly optioned. I couldn't tell you what the thinking was. Maybe people that they thought that diesel buyers just weren't really interested in options. I don't know. It is a good question. So back seat, not much to talk about here. There is some staining on the floor mats. I did pressure wash them. The staining up there, I couldn't get it to come out. Maybe someone else, if you want to try a little more. Or again, I don't know if I'd worry about it personally. So we got the rear heated seats. And we have the sunshades, or the privacy shades, whatever you want to call them. Which is a nice feature. So I'm gonna point something out to folks, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't know this. So my wife's driven Cayennes ever since I can remember, and we had an older dog that we took with us, and she had a hard time getting from the back seat to the front seat to sit in my lap. And little known fact, the Cayenne seats, the back seats, will move forward. Or maybe it is a well-known fact and we just didn't know. But we found this out after having a car for like a year. So I might need two hands so I can put my phone down. So the back seat moves up. And then you can also adjust the seat back down there. You can put it back, or you can put it forward, or whatever you want to do. So that is pretty cool. It's just something that maybe, I don't know, maybe you guys know and we just didn't know. Same with the passenger side. So you pull this up and the whole seat comes forward. Ugh, I gotta use two hands, hang on. Then in our case, our older dog could just kind of hop up front from the back. In case anybody's wondering, not this one. I can see I get that question. So your dog was in this Cayenne? No. This was like 6 or 7 years ago. All right, so on the passenger side, we don't really have much to demonstrate as far as functionality. Locks, windows, don't really have a lot of problem with these seats. I don't think I've ever had to fix a Cayenne or a Panamera seat. So there is some wear on the, this is the outer bolster. Kind of see where the dye's coming off a little bit. So this tan interior, I think it looks great. It's kind of like classic, but it does show wear, whereas like the black doesn't show things that the tan does. All right, so we're gonna put the window up. We're gonna turn off the hazards, put lights back to auto. All right, so we are now in the car. So there's our digital gauges. That's kind of what I always have them set to. Our analog. All right, so let's breeze on through this. I did want to point out the wear here on the top of the steering wheel. I actually looked at some, I was gonna replace the steering wheel. I looked at some used ones. They all had some wear to some degree. If this really bothers you, my suggestion would actually be to get a new steering wheel. Again, because the tan The tan shows wear. You see a little wear on top of the shift knob. Right there. Replace the steering wheel is actually super easy. Airbag pops straight out. There's one star nut right here. 2 connectors, one here, one here, one here. The whole thing just comes right off. Super duper easy. Alrighty, so we're gonna do our power fold mirrors. Check. We're gonna do our blind spot. You'll see it light up when I turn it on. That means it's active. Check. All right, we have all our lights. You can turn off your park assist. This turns on the rear lights. That turns on all the lights. Turns on that light. Turns on that light. Have our auto dim mirror. It's not bleeding at all. Headliner's in good shape. The places you always need to look are back in the corners. That's where it starts. And it's nice and tight, no sagging. Sunroof, check. We have no messages. All right, we'll get to the transfer case. Cruise control, turn signals, wipers. Always check your wipers. Horn. Always check your horn. Various seat settings, locks, lock. All of our window controls, the chrome pieces are all there. So it has been tinted. You can see the tint line right there. But I think with the black trim, I think it looks really sharp personally. And then you can put the window shade down from the front. So basically what you do is if you want to put the shade down, you hit the button once, shade, then you hit it again, window, same thing to put it up. So it's up, then you pull this again, shade, and then down. Rear hatch open from the front, trunk open. We are gonna go put that down so we don't get bugs in the car. So you can put it up from the switch. You cannot put it down from the switch. You have to get out. They updated that. My wife's newer one, she is a 21 right now, and you can put it down from inside. But on the older ones, you have to get out to put it down. Moving right along. Don't really have a lot of PCM issues. A couple years ago when that XM update went out and fried a bunch of units, haven't really had problems since then. So our climate system, don't really have issues with these. Rarely do I have to do any climate work on any P cars, which is super nice. So I like to sync my controls when I'm by myself, meaning my switch controls both. Maybe I'm a little OCD. So yeah, I'm gonna do our heated over here, vented for the passenger. So I talked about this in the Panamera I just did. A unique feature on these, on Porsches, is you have independent climate. Sure, that's pretty standard. But the fan distribution, or the air distribution, being independent is not standard. That's a really neat feature. Meaning, the best example I can give you is I like air on my feet, my wife does not. So we don't have to fight about air on our feet. I can have it, and she cannot have it. And you may think that's stupid, that's not a big deal. But when you're on long road trips and you want air on your feet and your wife doesn't, well, if you are a guy, you know you lose that argument every time. So it's nice to have air on your feet if you want air on your feet. So sport mode, I usually drive in sport mode. It just makes it a little bit more fun, more throttle engagement, holds the gear a little longer. You can turn off traction if you wanted to. And then lastly, we're gonna do our four-wheel drive engagement. And in case anybody is wondering, the diesels used a different transfer case that was not as problematic as the non-diesels. Alrighty guys, there you go. I hope I answered all the questions. If I did not, just ask. So what I started doing at the end of my walk arounds is we do a little drive. We're not going to go far because driving while holding your phone on the instruments is not exactly advisable. We can do a little bit. I won't tell anybody. And a question I always get about doing a fly-in drive, I would drive this car anywhere. At a moment's notice, I would hop in this and, whoa, I thought you were turning. See, that's why we need to focus while we're driving. So we're gonna go down a few traffic lights. Nice quiet ride. I mean, there's no funny noises or shimmies, shakes, pulls, vibrations, etc., etc., etc. But like I mentioned at the outset of this video, you know, these cars were driven. You don't necessarily buy a Cayenne to you know, park it in your garage and wait for it to appreciate in value. It's not like it's a, you know, a GT3 or one of those crazy trims that are selling for 3 times what they cost new. But they didn't make a lot of the diesels, and like I've also mentioned, most of them have well over 100,000 miles by now, so that makes this one a little unique and more appealing. So that lady down there ran across the street. I don't know if y'all can see her. She ran across the street. She ran down the left side of the road about 2 blocks and then went back across the street to the side that she originated from. Interesting. People do odd things, to say the least. Alrighty folks, we are back to home base. Flipper on here. And then we are gonna grab the Turbo S that I need to do my pictures for and get that one cooking. The land of Porsches. So that one's on Bring a Trailer right now, ends today. That one is going on Cars and Bids. That ML is still getting fixed. That Panamera is going on Cars and Bring a Trailer. That Boxer will eventually be on Bring a Trailer. And that beast of a Turbo S I'm doing today, and it will be on Bring a Trailer as soon as I am finished. So there you go, guys. If you got questions, just let me know, and I appreciate your time.